Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with BNEWS producers Sydney Bowles, BNEWS reporters Tad Stefanak, Robert Paris, and Varys Conley, Chris Flaherty filling in for Peter Brown on the weather, Anthony Maestos with sports, and Gretchen Carey with community calendar. Thank you for joining us. The last of the BNEWS political debates took place this week, this one for a seat on the Burlington School Committee. Producer Sydney Bowles brings us this analysis.
Incumbent Martha Simon, current chair of the school committee, is facing up against challenger Megan Nvoychik, a town meeting member, a member of the Ways and Means Committee, and president of the Burlington Special Education Parents Advisory Council. Martha Simon introduced herself as a seasoned leader with a background in education.
My passion for education and past career as a teacher, in fact, I'm currently the only teacher on the board, gives me valuable perspective and depth in understanding the complex issues facing our schools.
Megan Nvoychik drew on her experience with CPAC, as well as on Ways and Means Committee, to bill herself as a well-rounded candidate with experience in the community.
I am excited for the opportunity to serve the Burlington community as a member of the school committee. If elected, I look forward to improving educational outcomes by advocating for evidence-based program options in foundational areas of reading, math, and also listening to you.
The candidates answered questions about supervising Superintendent Dr. Eric Conti, balancing the district's various school building projects, and incorporating diversity, equity, and inclusion into the school curriculum. Megan Nvoychik said she would focus on hiring diverse teachers and staff as a way to increase the feeling of belonging, and Martha Simon emphasized the importance of social and emotional learning.
Everyone deserves to feel welcome in Burlington. Everyone deserves to feel accepted and respected, and mutual respect is very important. Personal, cultural, and religious boundaries as well. Burlington is a diverse community. We have 97 languages spoke in our town, at least. Color, children with special needs, they're all included in diversity, equity, and inclusion. We need to support recruiting qualified candidates, as I had mentioned before, and make sure that we have staff in our buildings that represent the student body, and I think that that will help give feelings of inclusivity and welcomeness to our students.
The social emotional learning that we've added in the last several years, much more consciously, it's not a separate thing where we just teach about emotions over here, but it's about really helping students understand sort of when they feel something, how does it impact other students? How can they control their own, regulate their own behaviors so that other students are not hurt by what they might say in anger, that they can understand better and develop more empathy.
Both candidates have strong backgrounds in supporting students with special needs, Martha Simon as a special ed teacher and Megan Nvoychik with Burlington CPAC. They both emphasized the importance of open lines of communication.
I think it's important to try to reach out, and I definitely feel like I've gone out to different settings and reached out, and people who know me know I strike up conversations, and I do ask. I say, I ask what are the issues that are important to you? What are your concerns? I'm always available for people to reach out, and when people have concerns, I follow up on it. I make sure that after I've heard what the concern is, that I help them get to the person they need to speak to.
I've had meetings monthly with our Director of Special Education, Christina Ciccolini, which have been really, really wonderful, along with the rest of the CPAC, and we often talk about issues that families are not comfortable bringing forward. So I think also being willing to stand up and represent different issues is a skill that I have and I've proven to be effective in.
You can watch the full debate on bcattv.org. Search for the BNews Election Center. For BNews Weekly, I'm Sydney Bowles.
Speaking of elections, early voting is open now for the April 6th elections. If you haven't already, there's still time to register for a vote-by-mail ballot on the Secretary of State's website, or you can go on down to Town Hall to vote at the Town Clerk's office during regular business hours. And of course, you can vote at the high school between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. on Saturday, April 6th. Hope to see you there. One of the biggest political stories in Burlington right now is the MBTA Communities Act, quite big across the state actually. That's the state law that requires 177 towns and cities to create zoning districts that allow for more multifamily housing. Burlington has until the end of 2024 to comply with the law, and the Planning Board has been working on their solution. They recently shared the warrant article that will be before town meeting this May with a group of residents, and BNews reporter Veris Conley has the story.
On March 13th, Burlington Planning Director Liz Bonventry and consultants from VHB came to speak about the new MBTA Communities Act, which requires towns to zone for more multifamily housing. The speakers for the event were hopeful for the new law and gave their insight during the forum, saying it will provide a great opportunity for families and businesses to grow.
Potential for ground floor retail, pedestrian and community space, an attractive, walkable place right near the mall, but also near all of the development happening on the other side of Middlesex Turnpike.
Most of the properties that we are looking to put an overlay zoning district on to comply, most of those properties are existing multifamily housing. So most likely nothing will happen there.
The event was then turned over to the residents of Burlington to voice their concerns in small groups, while the speakers listened on and answered any questions they may have had. However, the residents remain worried about the law.
In general, I think it's a well-intentioned law that's been poorly implemented and tried to cram down dozens of towns, so we have to make the best of it now. There may be opportunities to rescind it later, but this is where we are now, and we need to act now. And so we'll have to do what's the best, or at least the least worst, for Burlington.
It's an ill-conceived act, lots of faults with it, and it's really not good for anybody, not only in the MBTA communities, but the other about 177 towns that aren't included. It's really a statewide problem, so it needs to go back to the drawing board.
After listening to their concerns, the speakers took their feedback and have expressed their sympathy.
I sympathize. This law was not written by a planner. I personally don't think it's good policy. That being said, I think that the plan that we have put forward is going to have the least effect on the town that we can, while still being in compliance with the law.
This is Veris Connolly from BNews.
As an editorial comment, strictly my own, Boston doesn't want to house or educate their children. They'd rather have the suburbs do it. Burlington Public Schools has a new policy to manage how teachers and students interact on social media. Tad Stefanak has this report.
There are many pros and cons to the realm of social media, and Burlington Public Schools has developed a new social media policy to keep students, parents, and teachers informed through preferred channels.
What we're seeing is that technology and social media is changing really rapidly. So we're just trying to keep up with the world. And in particular, we really want to make sure that we're protecting our students and our staff, because people use the technology a lot and it's not always private, it's not always protected. In order to do that, we need to have a policy that everyone knows what it is so they can follow it, so they can be protected. There's a legal requirements like copyright laws and privacy concerns that we have included in this social media policy. The teachers union, the BEA, has reviewed it before we finalized it. We are also reviewing it again with them. And what we heard a lot from teachers was that they were glad to have something that would protect them. The district started using Parent Square this year. We've been rolling it out. And the idea is that all communications would go through the same platform. And that way parents and families know, and even community members can sign up to get notices from Parent Square, so that communication is going out to everyone in a common way. This is the homepage for the Burlington Public Schools, and if you go to District here, you can go down to District and Community News, and this will give you all the public community announcements that are put out through our Parent Square. Parent Square also will translate into the language that the parent chooses or the family chooses when they register their child. All the communications are now much more accessible to all the families, and we're really pleased about that. We have a policy manual that's updated and approved by the school committee that's on the website now. And this social media policy is one of the ones that we just felt we needed to spend a little more time on, because it's important and it's changing a lot as technology changes.
From Burlington Public Schools, this is BNews.
This summer, businesses and organizations will be sponsoring Painted Pigs on Burlington's Town Common. It's a fundraiser for the town sculpture park, and now it has a logo designed by a Burlington student. Robert Paris has this story.
The Burlington Sculpture Park has chosen their Pigs on Parade logo, and it was created by BHS junior Dove Jimenez. Director of Visual Arts George Rakovich spoke about the project and the students' involvement.
It was a really great project. I wanted to keep going with that, sort of doing art for the community. This is one way to really help out the community using the skills that our students have. And my studio art honors classes they do some wonderful work. They've got a wide range of skills, and I wanted to sort of tap into that.
In his office, George showcased the other designs made for the project.
So right behind me are some examples for some of the work that was done for the community and specifically for this project. This would be a logo that is meant to be used in small business cards or flyers or things like that, but also can be on posters. And we really like the fact that the Sculpture Park Committee really liked the fact that this is something that could be seen many different ways. There's some other beautiful work here too. I mean, Officer Khalif did one that is really wonderful with lots of detail that incorporates the design of the Sculpture Park logo itself, which was also several years ago designed by some students in that same course. So there's a really great, it was hard for the committee to really decide on, but I think Dove's is really a wonderful piece.
George explained that Dove went up against many talented artists.
I think she was pleased, but she also knows that they're up against a lot of people who have great skills. So in the end, I think Dove was happy about it.
From Burlington High School, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
Burlington children are so talented. Some of you watching this program may remember taking art classes from Phil Young here at the Burlington High School. Young was the BHS art department head and talented artist in his own right. He passed away last July, but he's being honored with a gallery at BHS right now. Robert Paris has more.
On March 21st from 5 to 7 p.m., Burlington High School Visual Arts Department will be having their annual art and design exhibit. During the evening, visitors will get a glance at the 9 paintings made by the late artist Phil Young.
We have a small gallery in the school that is devoted to showing the work of local artists and community artists and alumni. We just put in some work by the artist Phil Young, who unfortunately passed away over the summer. He was a former department head here for a long time. He was a art instructor here for 30 years. He's been retired for over 20.
All of his 9 paintings will be for sale.
His wife was kind enough to bring many of his paintings to hang in our gallery, and so he has some wonderful paintings there. Some of the proceeds from the sales will be going to the Burlington High School Art Scholarship Fund for students who are planning on majoring in art or design or architecture.
The annual art show will be that evening as well, with many designs from BHS students.
It's a great show. All of our art students are represented. Everybody has something in the show. There's work from sculpture and ceramics and photography and graphic design and computer graphics and painting and drawing. Really a wonderful array of things to see. I encourage as many people that can to show up for this show. We really want people to be able to see the efforts of our students. They've put in a lot of time and effort over the year, and they've learned a lot. So it really is a great showcase for their work.
From Burlington High School, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
The Massachusetts Department of Transportation and Boston University are working on a campaign that has the support of Burlington's Police Department. The Do Not Disturb campaign is the 4th anniversary of the hands-free law, which took effect in February of 2020, and says that no vehicle operator shall use electronic devices while driving unless it can be used hands-free. According to Mass DOT, sending or receiving a text can take your eyes off the road for 5 seconds, which at 55 miles an hour is the equivalent of driving the length of a football field with your eyes closed. BPD Sergeant Peter Abascaroon said, quote, "In the moment it takes to read or respond to a text while driving, you risk taking a future away from yourself and others. Pay attention while driving. Everyone's life depends on it," end quote. And in further police news, the department has received a grant from the state for a new automatic external defibrillator device, or AED. The device was received on March 11th and put into service on March 12th. The Burlington-based company Keurig Dr. Pepper, known for popularizing single-serve coffee pods, is revolutionizing its own game. This fall, the company plans to release plant-based coffee pods that will reduce waste and take single-use coffee plastic free out of the waste stream, excuse me. The plant-based pods will be able to make hot or iced coffees as well as espresso drinks. Leahy Hospital and Medical Center is welcoming its new head of gynecology. Dr. Elizabeth Gagliardi has more than 15 years of experience in the field and most recently served as Director of Gynecologic Surgery at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center in Boston. Welcome to Burlington, Dr. Cagliardi. And Temple Siloam Emeth in Burlington is gearing up to celebrate Purim this weekend. Celebrations include a modern rewriting of the Book of Esther, performed as a play, and a big carnival for children. Everyone comes in costumes and receives special bags of treats. Purim celebrates the saving of the Jews of Persia over the Haman of the Achaemenid Empire. Thank you, Sydney Bowles, for sounding that out for me. Capitol Grill is one of the Burlington's most celebrated local restaurants. Tad Stefanik of BNEWS and Sonia Rollins of the Burlington Area Chamber of Commerce paid them a visit for the latest edition of Chamber Spotlight.
Hi everybody, Sonia Rollins. So excited to be at our Chamber Spotlight today at a Burlington staple. The Capitol Grill has been a long-standing restaurant in Burlington. Those who come here know it's beautiful for lunch, it's beautiful for dinner, it's beautiful to celebrate, it's beautiful to have a business meal in. I'm looking forward to welcoming you back into something we've been to before and be able to see some of the great things they have inside. All right, I'm with Adam Mackler, managing partner of the Capitol Grill. Adam, thank you so much for having us again.
Welcome. Thanks for having me.
You know, it's amazing because we've been doing this for a long time. I think we came to visit you back in 2018, pre-COVID days. So a lot has changed, but one thing always remains constant, which is A, the reputation of the Capitol Grill, and B, just the spectacular feeling you get when you walk in this restaurant.
Well, thank you very much.
Tell us how long you've been here and how long the Capitol Grill has been in Burlington.
So now I've been here for 12 years at this location. I've been with the Capitol Grill for 28 years this September.
Wow.
And this location's been here, I think, 07, so 17, 18 years now.
It's changed, right? Burlington has changed a little bit. When you first came, there wasn't as many steakhouses or as many restaurants around, but now, really, there's a lot around you. And what I'm always impressed with is that, you know, you have consistently stayed as one of the premier places to be in town. I do have to add that you and your team have been very benevolent throughout Burlington. So before I say anything else and before we talk steak and all great things, you know, on behalf of the community, we want to thank you because you do give back a lot. So talk a little bit about Darden, about the Capitol Grill, and about that giving back philosophy.
Well, I mean, you know, with Darden in the Capitol Grill, you know, that's one of our core values is you know, be giving back to our communities.
Yes.
You know, the Capitol Grill was doing it before I got here, and, you know, we added a bunch of our, you know, charities when I started here. And, you know, Burlington is just a big part of who we are, and we love being a part of the community.
Capitol Grill donates annually for the auction, the People Helping People auction, Dinner for 8. Let's turn it over to Anthony Matos for a look at BHS Sports.
Hey everyone, I'm Anthony Matos, BNEWS Weekly Sports Report. We now know where Mr. Poland will be heading off to this fall. Sports reporter Robert Paris.
Senior running back of Red Devil football, Joey Poland, is gearing up for his next journey after high school, as he will be going to Post University in Waterbury, Connecticut.
Before everything started, like with the process, I was talking to Coach Miller over there. He's a O-line coach. One of my camps, he came into the camp and he was like, we really want you. We want to start the process with you. And I said, yeah, let's do it. So that's where the process began, and that's how it's going right now.
Before being signed, Poland attended multiple training camps when he was eventually noticed by the offensive line coach of the Post Eagles.
They really found me. They came to the camp, they saw my name was going, and they saw my name was listed on it. They were going to be there, so I went. Coaching staff there is cool. I met all of them. They're all great. I went up there a few times, and, you know, they're all really cool and supportive.
Wherever his decision was, his friends and family were in full support.
Yeah, I mean, they're all excited. Me too. Most importantly, I am. But, they're all supportive of my decision and, where I was going, even if I went somewhere else. But I'm happy where I'm going now, and everyone's so supportive, and I appreciate it.
We want to congratulate Joey on a remarkable season. BCAT will be following Joey and his journey at Post University.
The football games here, all the Friday nights, and everything that I've done, and, everyone that's supportive, especially the coaches, especially Coach Banley, and, what he's done for me, made me into a better man, not just a football player. For Post, they're getting a guy that really loves football, and he's a good man, and I'm going to do whatever I can to help them win games.
I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Sports.
Pat McGee of boys track was recently named Assistant Coach of the Year by the Massachusetts State Track Coaches Association. We would like to congratulate Pat on his success in having a successful winter season with the team. The Massachusetts State Hockey Coaches Association is having an all-star games for the girls this weekend and the boys next weekend. Defenseman Anna Viglione and forward Shay McDonald will play in the Senior All-Star Game on March 24th at the Worcester Ice Center. Head coach Rick Sheehan was selected to coach the game. Following the weekend, forward Seamus McMakin will be playing in the boys All-Star Game on March 30th at Sacred Heart University. Good luck to everyone competing. For more Red Devil action, go to bcattv.org/sports and check out our Twitter page at BNews Sports. It's all for now. I'm Anthony Matos. Back to you guys in the studio.
We'll have more from Anthony as the spring season heats up at BHS. And let's turn it over to Chris Flaherty with the weather, filling in for Peter Brown. And stay tuned for your community calendar with Gretchen Carey.
Hey everyone, this is Chris Flaherty with your BNews Weather Report, filling in for Peter Brown, who is out this week. As we have officially entered spring and head towards the end of March, the temperatures are getting a little higher and the sun is staying out a little longer. It might be safe to put those snow brushes away, but I would hold on to your coats and scarves. Looking ahead at our 7-day forecast, we start out this weekend with a little bit of sunshine on Friday with a high of 42 and a low of 29. And that unfortunately is going to be the nicest day of the weekend, because Saturday we will see rain throughout the day with a high of 48 and a low of 29. So better keep those umbrellas handy. Monday will continue those cloudy conditions with a high of 41 and a low of 31. And then it looks like the rain will be back on Tuesday with a high of 42 and a low of 36. And that will continue into Wednesday with a high of 45 and a low of 38. And then more rain on Thursday with a high of 49 and a low of 37. As you can see, the days are definitely warming up, but those April showers are coming in a little earlier than we expected. So everyone, that's your BNews Weather Report. Until next time, I'm Chris Flaherty, filling for Peter Brown. Stay dry and have a great week.
Hi, I'm Amy Poehler, and you're watching BCAT. Go Red Devils!
Hey everyone, I'm Gretchen Carey, and this is your Community Calendar. On March 27th from 2:30 to 4:30 p.m., the Board of Health will be having a food safety forum. If you're interested in attending, please call the Board of Health at 781-270-1955. On March 28th at 5:30 p.m., the Burlington Parks and Recreation Department will be having an egg hunt at Simons Park, and the event is free. For more information, go to the Recreation website. On March 30th from 1 to 3 p.m., the Burlington Rotary Club invites you to learn the craft of charcuterie. For more information, go to the Community Calendar page on the BCAT website. For more Community Calendar events, go to bcattv.org, burlingtonpubliclibrary.org, and burlingtonrecreation.org. I'm Gretchen Carey, and that was your Community Calendar.
And as we do every week, we're finishing up with a photo sent in by a member of the community. Sania Salim took this photo at a community iftar at Grandview Farm. It was part of an event held March 17th to share in a community breakfast and learn about the Muslim month of Ramadan. Thank you, Sania. If you have a photo you'd like to see featured here, email it to us at bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line Photo of the Week. That's our program for this week. One last housekeeping note. If you want a chance to speak with Burlington's candidates for local office in person, join BNews and the Council on Aging for a candidate forum on Tuesday, March 26th from 1 to 3 at the Senior Center. The event is geared towards seniors, but all are invited to attend. And as we go out, please enjoy this lightning round from our recent Select Board debate.
Hi, I'm BNews producer Sydney Bowles, and as of this recording, we just wrapped on a very serious debate covering very serious issues that these two candidates for Burlington's Select Board will be facing coming up should they be elected. Now, we asked the big questions just moments ago. Now we're going to ask the small questions. So, Sarah Colley, Bradford Bond, thank you for humoring us on this lightning round select board debate question. Question 1, and we'll start with you, Sarah. Favorite place to eat in Burlington?
I don't get out much. I've got 4 kids. So I will say Burton's.
Brad.
Ooh, Cafe Escadrille.
Favorite place in Burlington overall? Brad.
The used bookstore.
Sarah?
Similar vein, the library.
Okay. Favorite musician or band? Sarah Colley.
Taylor Swift.
Brad?
In Burlington?
Oh, no, anywhere, worldwide.
Kansas.
Okay. Next question. How old were you when you first got involved in politics? Brief answer.
Me or her?
Oh, I'm sorry, Brad.
42.
Sarah?
Well, I've always been engaged and informed in politics since, I was in high school, but involved, it was probably about 3 years ago when my kids started getting older.
Okay, 2 more questions. Favorite seasonal event in Burlington? Sarah Colley.
What's the Spooktober or something? Some sort of Spooktober fest that the rec department puts on. Something like that.
Okay, and Bradford Bond.
Ooh, that's a good one. I've helped with the Interact kids with the Dern, the Dern Haunted House for many years. Wow, July the 4th is always a good one. The parade's a good one, yeah.
Fantastic. Final question. We'll start with Brad Bond. If there were to be a TV show about local politics in Burlington, who would you want to play you in the sitcom?
Oh my goodness. Given my academic background, I'm led to Kelsey Grammer, I suppose.
Sarah Colley?
Well, I literally just watched an episode of Parks and Rec getting ready for this debate. So I will say Amy Poehler, who plays Leslie Knope.
Okay, that is a wrap on our lightning round for the select board debate. Sarah Colley, Brad Bond, thank you both for your patience and your flexibility with this. It's been a delight. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sydney.